Hello and welcome to Glitter and Chaos podcast. I am your host, Kaylee Patton-Dieters, licensed clinical marriage and family therapist.
And I'm your other host, Caitlin Mead, licensed clinical professional counselor and registered play therapist. I had to think about that for a second.
I saw your eyes move and I was like, okay.
I was about to repeat Kaylee's license and I was like, wait, I'm not one of those.
That's not me.
That's not me. Bear with us, okay?
Chaos.
It's been a long week, folks. Long week.
There's been a lot of chaos. So
a lot of chaos.
In true fashion, it shows up in all spheres of our lives, including recording.
Yeah.
But we are very grateful that we have the opportunity to record, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
Yep, gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude in just the small things, the big things.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at life when life gets hard, when life feels overwhelming, when things feel very out of control,
mm-hmm.
and what are things you can do to ground yourself?
Yes.
When it feels that way, and one of those ways is gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about that when we were talking about ideas for the podcast. Was we've been focusing a lot on, and I don't want to say negative, but we've been focusing a lot on what we feel like are trials that people deal with, like self-doubt, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. Things like that. And so we really wanted to kind of hone in today on maybe starting the new year with some gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be like the cliche, like we need to start the new year with thankfulness, but like learning ways or identifying ways to recognize having gratitude. We had a boss that used to say an attitude of gratitude. And
okay.
We did.
I believe you. It's just escaping me right now. So
when we worked in community mental health.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes. Now I recall. Okay. I had to think. I was like, okay.
Yeah. And so I give that caveat in the fact that I don't feel like we always have to have the attitude of gratitude because sometimes life just sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But today's focus is, where do we find gratitude? What do we count as gratitude? And how do you get yourself when things feel overwhelming and they feel much, they feel extra? Finding the space to have that.
Mm-hmm. And gratitude is part of a larger mindfulness coping skill, if you will. And we've heard mindfulness be thrown around a lot. It was a hot button topic for a lot of, there was a lot of articles on it. It probably made its way around social media quite a bit. And there's something to be said for gratitude. There is good research behind it. We do notice that the more that we find or have the capability to notice positive things and show gratitude for, there is some flexibility in our neurology that can occur, that they have witnessed, they have looked at with PET scans and all of that. So, there is real knowledge and real research supporting why gratitude in noticing it and identifying it is helpful for us and for our brains and our mental health. But some people are like, it's gotten a bad rap. It's kind of like when the radio overplays a song ad nauseum and you just get sick of it. And so it kind of got that tarnished view of, that pop psychology kind of spin.
Yeah.
But there's real good support on it. And when I think about mindfulness, sometimes my stubbornness gets in the way and my sarcasm. I sent a meme to her the other night about that. So
I told her to be mindful. I got a nasty look meme back, pouting child.
I was being petulant. I was.
And I will be honest with you. I strongly dislike the word mindfulness. I have another good friend who, we are very often, when we send the word mindfulness back and forth, send the memes of you can take that word and go somewhere else with it. So I've decided I like the word marinate. I'm gonna
use that word.
Marinate.
And I laugh every single time you say it because all I can imagine is like a chicken in a stew. That's all Like, and you're basting the chicken. Like, that's the only image that ever comes up when you mention marinate to
But the
me.
chicken is being mindful that it is marinating. Like, the chicken is being mindful that it is in the stew, and it cannot help the situation that it is in.
It cannot. It's just.
It can't. I mean, what's it going to do? It can't get out of the stew.
It is.
So, I
Oh,
mean,
my
what are you going to do?
No, you. I mean,
what are you going to do?
You can't. And so so mindfulness is a good thing, but I mean, there is going to be that natural kind of is like I said, that stubbornness, at least from my experience, that it's like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. I don't want to be mindful right now. And sometimes you just have to kind of pivot a little bit instead of just being kind of that constant positivity that you're looking for. Is just notice some neutral things sometimes. And when I say neutral, and I'm like, you know what? I like the feel of my t-shirt today. Mm-hmm. That's not overly positive. That's not painting a broad brush stroke over a not so great situation. It's just simply being mindful and thankful and grateful for, you know what? I picked a good t-shirt today and it feels good on my body. That's it. That can be gratitude.
Absolutely. Nobody's asking you to be positive Pollyanna over here.
Yes.
Like,
I had that same thought in my brain.
We're just asking. I think what we have to focus on, like, she was talking about her t-shirt, and I'm over here and I'm like, God, I love the feel of a good sweatshirt. Like, if I could live in sweatshirts, I would live in sweatshirts. Mm-hmm. And so, like, when I put a sweatshirt on, I'm like, God, it's my favorite day. Like, if I can wear a sweatshirt to work, I'm like, this is the, like, I have reached next level. Mm-hmm. And it is this, like, it can be the small things. It's not like, I have to be thankful that I'm alive today. Yes, be thankful that you're alive. Okay. Nobody's discounting that.
No, that's always a good one.
That's always a good one. Great. Want you to be thankful for that. But be grateful, or not grateful, but like find the gratitude in the small things. Like, man, my makeup looks good today.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like things like that, or just whatever, just the small stuff that you can recognize, especially when everything around you feels like it's just like this, you're in the eye of a tornado. Like everything around you is just spinning out of control. And you're in the midst of chaos. And that's the thing about the gratitude is everything around you spins out of control. And the gratitude might be the one thing you can control.
That's anchoring.
That is marinating. That gets you to go, okay, this is the one thing I can recognize and say I'm okay right now, which is, you know, whatever. I picked a good pair of shoes today, or you know, I'm thankful
I didn't get stopped by the train today and I made it to where I needed to be on time.
Right. Or I'm thankful that the sun is shining, you know, instead of it being cloudy like it has been the last 10 days. Whatever. I'm thankful that it's January and we have experienced 60-degree weather instead of...
Says you.
She's going to be happy when it's Saturday tomorrow and it's 17 degrees.
It is January. I am meant to wear my warm things. I want to wear my warm things.
Well, be cold like me all the time and you can wear warm things.
I don't know how you do it.
Just saying. Just saying. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. I will not practice gratitude when it is 17 degrees.
You can practice gratitude by saying, my blanket is nice and warm and I like wrapping up in my blanket.
This is true. She has a point. I can practice gratitude in that way.
See? Attitude. Stubbornness.
So,
but I do the same thing to her.
Yes. So
please do not think I don't do the same thing.
Oh, she's a very petulant child.
I am.
Defiant teenager.
Defiant. Ooh, that was the word I was looking for.
Defiant. We're both defiant. Anyway, back to the gratitude. Good grief.
So something that you were talking and what you were saying, I feel is important to share. But the other thing that we run into gratitude, kind of in that same line of adjacent to the stubbornness, is sometimes that broad statement of positivity is not accessible to people at that time. And when I say accessible, or read as not believable. Like that's not something that is believable at that point in time, and therefore does not feel like gratitude, does not feel that it is helpful for them in that moment.
Because maybe life has just been throwing you punch after punch after punch, and you're in the middle of big suck. Like big suck.
And this is, I think, where the pop psychology turned dark of gratitude was, well, my life is really hard right now, and it's really hard for me to believe that life is amazing, life is great, I am going to do great things, when we have, this rain cloud over us that just seems inescapable sometimes. And so I think the pivot there is, well, what is believable to you in the moment?
The micro.
What is believable right now in the here and now at this point for you? And if it is, life is great, life is awesome, then that's great. We run with it, and that's what you do. But that's not always the truth and everybody's experience for their life. And sometimes it is. We've talked about radical acceptance before in our previous podcasts, and I think I've given the example of where 50 things have gone wrong before I even enter the office door this morning, and it's me just going, it is what it is. Today is going to be a day, and I'm just going to accept it. That can also be an adjacent of gratitude of, one, I get to come in and I get to spend time with my friend and coworker. I am grateful because I get to meet so many cool people in my job. I get to bear witness and walk with all of these amazing people in their journeys. And that to me is no more sacred than anything else, is that particular journey. But that, from what, like I said, 50 different things have gone wrong before I walked through the door. So I can radically accept that today's going to be a good day, but then I can also find, you know what, I get to do this. And for me, that is accessible. And for me, that works. That might not work for everybody. And so I guess I digress to say is, when you think about gratitude, it's what is accessible and believable to you in that moment.
Well, we talked in our last podcast about like what motivates you might not motivate somebody else. So it's the same thing. What you are grateful for, what is gratitude to you, might not be to the next person. And I'm going to get on a little soapbox here for a second, because there are some positive Pollyannas out there, which is great for you.
That works for them.
And I'm very
end of statement.
Thankful that works for them. Where the struggle is when that is then shoved down everybody else's throat.
Yes.
And it is then this point of where I struggle and where I have a difficult time, I think, is when I hear people say, well, we shouldn't talk like that. We shouldn't be negative like that. You shouldn't be negative like that. You need to think positive all the time.
I kind of want to spider monkey jump on him at
that
point in time.
Newsflash. You don't have to be positive all the time.
No.
Newsflash. Life can suck. And I'm going to lay it all out right now. Life can suck. And life is going to suck. And for some people, the punches just keep coming. And for others that it doesn't happen to, I'm so grateful that that's not what those people experience. But for the people that do experience it, hearing, you need to just be positive, that's not helpful. Like, don't say those things. That's not helpful. So, transitioning off my soapbox now. Sorry, I got a little...
But I think it is bare saying, because a lot of people, I don't know, when there is someone going through a lot of things in their life, it is hard to know what to say. Am I going to say the right thing? Am I going to upset them? All of that may be true, even with your best intentions of not to. There's still impact of the statements that you say. And
sometimes it's better not to say anything at all.
Sometimes, in some situations, yeah. It's just being there physically.
Right.
And allowing that person to just be, like I said, sometimes just bearing witness.
Or, I'm sorry, you're going through a hard time. What do you need? Do you need anything? Getting back to the gratitude piece of it is, when you are going through those hard times and it's punch after punch after punch, it can be so difficult and so drowning. Like, I just, from personal experience, think about a time in my life where I felt very trapped and I felt very like I was drowning. And finding joy, finding gratitude was so hard. It was so hard, because it was not just a cloud over my head. It was like a full-blown storm. a storm that just didn't feel like it was ever going to end. And so at that point, I did have to find those micro things, which was, I get to be with my family.
Mm-hmm.
I get to have this time off to
Mm-hmm.
be with my family. I'm still functioning. I'm still doing these things. Even if it's the small, like the gratitude of I brushed my teeth today.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's even the executive functioning of like, I still got out of bed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I woke up today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I chose this.
Mm-hmm.
But like Kaylee said too, I like the reframe of I get to. That one's a big reframe for me. Kaylee talks about it coming into work. Like, there's some days that coming into work is hard. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. But then when you think about like, no, I get to do this. Like, I get to sit with people
Mm-hmm.
in their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to bear witness. But I also get to see people grow. I get to see people change. It's that. But I want to hone in more importantly on those micro gratitudes. Because it doesn't have to be big.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
Mm-mm. And sometimes the most realistic is what you can find in the moment. Because that's, with mindfulness, that's you being present in the moment of whatever you're experiencing. And most of the time, you can find something to show some gratitude towards, even if it seems counterproductive. And I'm going to give you an example. So there was a day where I was literally just having a day. Nothing in my power was going correct, and it was just like, fine. I ended up, and this happens quite frequently, this is part of executive functioning and ADHD and stuff like this. I ended up walking into a door frame. This door has been there forever. And I still ran into it. And at that moment, I started just laughing because I was like, of course I would run into a door frame today. That's Murphy's Law. That's fine. And then I was like, you know what? At least I ran into a door frame and didn't like trip over the cat or just didn't trip over something. The door frame's the better of the two situations here. Again.
Lesser of the two evils. I like it.
I mean, like, I never thought I would say I would be thankful that I ran into the door frame, but if I compared it to another not so great situation that was equally as, possible of occurring, I'll take the door frame.
Right. There are worse things.
So, but again, it's how you view it. Now, other people will be like, well, that's not something to be grateful for. All right. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with you on that. Yes, that's fair. That's a fair statement.
You ran into a door frame, but at least you didn't have coffee in your hand when you ran into the door frame.
Exactly.
And nobody else was watching.
No, I don't think anybody else was there at that time, yeah.
I mean, I ran into like a glass door and there were a ton of people outside and everybody saw me run into the glass door.
And then that's when you just bow and you walk off.
I mean, I totally laughed it off. Like, I totally laughed it off. It was fantastic.
And scene. Go.
Yeah, it was like, you can't make this up. Like, you can't make this up.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be somebody's entertainment.
Yep,
there's my gratitude. There's my gratitude.
There you go. And again, some of it sounds silly. And that's okay. We have to have some silliness in our lives. Silliness is a form of play. And as adults, we don't get enough play in our life. And so anytime we can utilize silliness and play in a form of gratitude and as a form of challenging like unhelpful thought processes, it can definitely lift your mood. Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
I mean, I think we have to take the time to find those small things, to reframe. I'm going to just keep using the word reframe. You can reframe anything. You can reframe anything.
Sometimes it's harder than others to find
Sometimes
the
it's harder than
reframe.
others. And I'm not saying that the most tragic things in your life you should sit and reframe.
No.
Don't hear me out on that.
That's fair.
As someone who's gone through unimaginable trauma, if somebody sat there and told me to reframe that, I would probably become a very violent person. 7 years later, don't tell me to reframe that.
Yeah.
I'm not, though, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about reframing is running into a door frame. Your day doesn't start out right at all. Everything goes wrong. Okay, well, you know what? That just means that from now on, everything's going to go great. Reframing different things. It's about finding those micro moments. It's about finding those micro moments of gratitude. And I am going to hit it hard that it is not, sometimes we get so stuck on the big picture. We get so stuck on the end result. And it's not that. It's not that, because your journey to the end result can be totally different than what you expected
Started out with.
or what you started out with. But that doesn't mean that there can't be moments of gratitude, moments of joy, moments of success along the way. 9.9 times out of 10, the path and life is not going to go the way that you thought it was going to go to get to that end result. And if it does for you, I need to like shake your hand and you give me some of that good luck, because like you are an anomaly. Because for most of us, like it doesn't go, like life does just not go the way
there's often side quests.
Yes. I look at it like a highway, and you have the exits. And most of the time we take detours. And a lot of times, like, they might look like pretty detours. They're not. They're full of potholes and nastiness. And sometimes they might be good.
And sometimes the detour has to occur.
And sometimes it has to occur because there might be an accident ahead. Like, the point being that you have to find reasons to have those small moments, but they don't have to be big ones.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to keep saying that, because there's so much around us in our everyday lives that we can't control. So much. And we can so easily get stuck in that.
Yeah. That like, chaos can get real loud.
It can get real loud. And it can be that overpowering voice. And that's, I often talk with people about this, that sometimes the voices, the chaotic voice is so loud that it drowns out the things that remind us of why we do the things that we do, or remind us of the things that we are grateful for. And we begin to focus on the chaos. And most, like 9 times out of 10, when you look at, so I call this the circle of control, like CBT, it's the circle of control. So like you have 2 circles. You have your like little micro circle, and then you have your big like macro circle. So like your micro circle within your circle is the things that you can control. And the macro circle is the things you cannot control. And typically what I have people do is start with the macro circle and write all the things that they cannot control. And that can be really overwhelming. Like people will write that and they're like, I don't like this at all. Like, I don't like this activity at all. This is bad. You're making me like focus on everything I can't control. I'm wigging out. And then I have them focus on what they can't control. And I'm like, okay, so I want you to like cover up your macro circle. And what can you control? And they write one word, myself. I'm like, okay, so let's reframe that. You don't have to control all these things. You just have to control yourself. And that's choosing to find those micro moments.
And that goes back to your analogy of the tornado. You are that centerpiece. You are that micro piece within the eye of the tornado. And the macro is the spinning, whirling, cow flying around you.
You might hear the moo, but you don't have to participate in the moo.
I do not accept the moo.
I acknowledge the moo, but I do not have to accept the moo. Maybe that'll be our clip.
Might be. Oh gosh, that's fantastic.
But
that needs to be a quote somewhere.
probably.
Okay.
I accept the moo cow. I acknowledge the moo cow. I do not have to accept the moo cow.
Yeah.
But that is where you can find control.
Mm-hmm.
When everything else around you feels out of control, you can find control in the things that you find gratitude in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think one that I guess I keep going back to me, what feels the most realistic of like gratitude is noticing the everyday kind of things. Yes, it is important to recognize the larger things that we are grateful for. But to me, the one that feels the most genuine and in line with my values are where I am in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that can change at any point in time. But to me, that's how it feels more authentic. And that feels more right. And I'm not saying that my way is the correct way or the right way, because it's not. It's just the way that works for me.
What works for you, yeah.
And that's okay. But I know that sometimes, I notice, I think I get I have some times where I'm very positive, and I am trying to maintain that kind of positivity when there are a lot of dark clouds kind of around. But even then, sometimes it feels like this just doesn't, like, this isn't melding very well. There's some confliction there. But yeah, I guess to suffice to say is I tend to be more realistic and authentic in the moment of where my gratitude lies, than sometimes that broader, bigger picture of things.
And we talk about this because it's something we have to practice. Mm-hmm. Like, I tend to very easily get caught up in the chaos. That's something that I've noticed about myself. I think it's better, but it's something that I have noticed about myself is I can very much get caught up in the chaos or get caught up in somebody else's chaos because I want to help or I want to be that calming presence. And so it's about recognizing that and being self-aware. And like Haley said, being in the moment and being like, okay, like what right now can I do to control myself, my person. And I guess that's where we're coming at. And gratitude is one of those ways to do that.
And sometimes people build it into their daily routines.
Right.
Some people, I mean, you will hear so many different influencers say they do this in the morning. It's part of their morning routine.
Their gratitude journal.
When they greet the sun. And I'm like,
me and the sun are not on good terms first thing in the morning.
Yeah, no. I mean, again, it works for them. It works for them. And I am very thankful and happy that they have found a system that works well for their brain and their body. And I'm glad that they're able and have a platform to share that in hopes that somebody else will see that and maybe try it and see if it works for them. That is fantastic and all. But the sarcastic person in me is like, I don't want to greet the sun. The sun is going to be there. I don't need to greet it when it comes up. That doesn't work well for me.
Right.
But I do like the fact of adding some sort of gratefulness in your daily routine. Again, if that is a designated or scheduled piece of your routine that you do, so you make sure that you're able to give the time that you want to it and what works well in your schedule. Or if it's where, you are a little chaos gremlin and you're like, nope, I'm just going to popcorn it throughout my day. I am option 2. And I would rather just kind of popcorn it through my day. But then there are some people who really like the structuredness of having set times of their routine. Some people do it at night before bed. And that's great too. There's many different ways that you can make this customizable and accommodating for your needs and how your brain works. Right. And we have just given different examples. We don't expect all of the examples to work for you, but we are hoping that maybe if one of them does work, then that's great. If none of them works, that's great too. Then you know what doesn't work for you. And that's just as, hey, there you go. That's another grateful thing. You're grateful you found out things that do not work for you. And sometimes that's just as important of, no, I have tried this and it does not work for me. That's okay. End of statement. Let's figure something else out that does work for you and works well with your brain and your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so to end today's podcast, our encouragement for you today is to take a moment,
mm-hmm.
find a time, even if it's briefly,
mm-hmm.
to think about a small thing
mm-hmm.
about your day that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Or in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment. Let's change it to that.
In
the moment that
mm-hmm.
you're grateful for. Not even about your day, but right here, right now, in your moment, what are you grateful for?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well,
see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening today, and we look forward to engaging with you in our comment sections and our Facebook and Instagram and even YouTube if you would like. And I guess we will see you guys next time.
Sounds great.
Thanks.
Bye.